Hello, good morning, everyone. I hope you're okay. Welcome to the Coffee in One Gulp, number 83. Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be here again on a Monday morning, as we always do. And today we are looking forward to learning a lot, as usual, in 25 minutes flat. Our barrister today is somebody not new to you. We have seen her here before. Actually, it was Gulp number 45. Dr. Lucy Mudhoni is extremely passionate, wonderfully passionate about the art and science of teaching, especially in areas of innovation. Apart from Coffee in One Gulp number 45, you may recall that in the academic staff workshop, last year's academic staff workshop, she was in a panel where she was discussing interesting ways in which we can bring our partnerships with industry to class and help our students be more motivated to learn. And so it's my great pleasure to welcome back to this forum, Coffee in One Gulp, Dr. Lucy Mudhoni. Today she'll be telling us something, just the title of it is simply exciting, blockchain in education. Why educators need to reinvent themselves. Welcome, Dr. Lucy Mudhoni.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity, and I hope we are all going to get excited by the time I'm done. I'll go straight away to the presentation. I really hope you're going to learn and be excited about blockchain, and you also be able to see the need of reinventing how you're going to be teaching, especially given that the future of education literally lies in blockchain technology. We are looking at blockchain in education, why educators need to reinvent themselves. So I do not want to bog you down with technicalities. The reason why I've put this content is because I'm going to share with the office of the Center for Education Improvement, and therefore they can share with you. So these are the things that talk about what is really blockchain, what does it entail, and so forth. Yeah. And just as we're looking at it, and I really hope you're not reading the text. The thing about blockchain is that we have multiple players, and every player puts in a bit or a pocket of information into the entire chain. So that means before one edits that particular information, they have to get permission or a go ahead from all the players in the chain. What we saw it happening in a very low key aspect is the election that we just had in 2022, where we had different returning officers having information and they're returning the forms rather. And therefore, if you had to edit one form, all the other forms had to be edited. And the whole idea of uploading all that information in real time so that every Kenyan can be able to view that information meant that if one person in that particular space was to edit one document, then they had to edit every other document everyone had in their possession, and even the ones who had downloaded. So with blockchain technology, it is just now an advanced version of what we saw. Like, it's a distributed ledger, and the whole information, everyone has access to it, and for you to edit, you have to get a go ahead from every single player. And so we have now we have this decentralization and consensus. That's exactly what I've just talked about. And then immutability, that means it is very, very hard for one player to distort information in that particular chain. And it provides transparency and privacy. Transparency means that, again, the people in that particular chain are able to see any information added into the loop. That is one. And then second, if there is an addition, again, they have to give permission so everyone is able to see what is happening. And now there is the smart contract. Smart contract would be like, now, for instance, it gives instructions prior to the whole chain working or the algorithm working. And after those conditions are met, and this is now where it gets exciting for us educators, then a particular action is automated. Like now, for instance, in insurance, we use blockchain to automate the payment once the contract conditions have been met. And now, for instance, now in the future of education, when we're looking at multiplayers in a particular student's life, that means that a student does not need to belong to one institution only for their degree. They can study, let's say, bachelor's in computer science from even 50 institutions, and once all their the credit hours are met, and the units they're supposed to cover are met, immediately the contract releases a degree document. So that's what the smart contract is all about. It's about an action being taken after particular conditions have been met. So again, you can learn much more about this later. So this is just me trying to buy your interest into the whole blockchain technology. So why do we need blockchain technology in the education sector? This one, I don't even want you to look at it because you will get lost in reading, so I will stop sharing. Because I want you to see my face as I'm talking about it. We have different scenarios, especially in education sector. The first one is when a student or myself want to apply for a scholarship in other universities, even outside the country, the verification process is a nightmare. So that means they have to contact different universities or different institutions that appear on your documentations for applications to verify that truly, to God, you went to those institutions. That is one. Second, apart from scholarships, when a student is looking for a job or a graduate, or even someone like me, again, looking for a job in a different organization, they have to verify, literally, that I went to Maseno, I went to State House Girls, and I went to all these other institutions. And the whole verification process is very, very difficult. And not just difficult, it's expensive, it's tiresome, and it's cumbersome. So apart from that, we have also seen, like now we have had several cases. I don't know how much it happens in Strathmore or it has ever happened in Strath, but in some public institutions, which I'm not going to mention, we've seen that some people who have access to the academic records of the students, changing the academic performance of the students without the knowledge of their lecturers. Like now, for instance, I teach calculus and then a student has failed, and I know they have failed. But you can imagine my shock when I'm seeing them marching very majestically to the graduation square to get their degree. So we have seen such cases where lecturers' records are changed and students graduate, and yet the lecturer knows that student failed. So we have academic fraud within our institutions. That is one. Second, and this I can say has happened in Strathmore, when it comes to payment of school fees, you get that people in the finance department can change the financial records of the students to show that they've paid, and yet they've not paid. And they get into other outside agreement on how to sort out that issue. So we find that with academic institutions, we have systems or we have processes that need to be protected by having corruptible individuals, sorry to say. So therefore, we need to have blockchain. Now, how will blockchain solve this? For example, right now, the good news is that at primary school level, like the ones who are in CBC, they have what we call a NEMIS number in Kenya. So if this NEMIS number is a unique identifier, and therefore it will follow the student all the days of their academic life. So meaning that if a student is applying for a job, a scholarship, or whatever it is they're applying for, all they need to do is share this unique identifier with the particular player, and then they can be able to verify the academic institution. But unfortunately, again, they have to call the individual organizations for the same. So what I've been looking at, and it's one of the projects we are doing at Rose with Professor Wayne, we are trying to see how we can have, because now all universities, even Strathmore, we have a form of distributed ledgers in that I can see my student records, but Dr. Mary Ochieng, as my boss, can see mine and another lecturer, but I cannot see the other lecturer's information. So that means that, yes, we have the transparency, the privacy, and so forth, but at the same time, and Strathmore, I believe the academic records are really sealed, and they are impenetrable. But what about if we had a blockchain technology that ensures not only will the potential person who is hiring be able to see now up to Form 4 with the name is number, they can go all the way to universities and so forth. Yeah. And then how can we even ensure that, again, we go beyond the university in that we have collaboration, like Strathmore and maybe Rose Harmony can have a collaboration where we want to exchange credit classes or credit unit with the students. Like now, for instance, we decide a student who is pursuing a particular degree does not have to study all the units in Strath. They can study some of them here in America, and we co-teach. So that means that our systems have to be integrated. And therefore, the dean at the Department of Maths in Rose can be able to access the information the dean at SIMS is able to access, and so forth. So that's one of the things we're working on, to see how we can have a collaborative blockchain technology where two institutions or more work together. But now what we're looking at is, can we have now even a bigger scale where even we can look at countries and so forth. So that puts a huge need for the blockchain technology where we can look at records and so forth. But why do I feel as a very strong need that lecturers need to reinvent themselves when it comes to blockchain? Now, we did a particular project last year with, it was commissioned by the DVC Academics Office at STRA, and we're looking at the future of work. And one of the things we found is that when we're looking at the future now of the education sector, is that students will not be confined in one institution or to one lecturer, for example. Now, what that means is that all lecturers teaching calculus, again, now it will not be just Lucy thinking, oh, now we are not even going to be assigned for classes like the way we do right now. What will happen is that all teachers teaching calculus will present themselves and say, I'll be teaching this particular level of calculus and so forth. And now the students will be the ones shopping who to teach them. Remember, this student is not confined to one institution. So we can have a student at Maseno University deciding to sign in for my classes. And we're looking at, again, of course, now we've seen even COVID and the whole virtual classrooms taking another shape. So that means, again, if we decided to open up, and we will be forced to open up, where anyone can study with a particular institution wherever part of the world. And meaning that they'll be seeking the best services, the best teacher, the best, so you have to find out, how do you teach in a way that your classes are not shunned by students? I'm sorry to say, but I know some of us will be thinking, oh my goodness, we are going to have celebrity lecturers. Unfortunately, yes and no. Yes, meaning that celebrity lecture will come in, like students will be following hype, or they'll be following lecturers who give easy content and so forth. But now there is a solution for that, which I have put in my presentation, where we are looking at the content and the notes and everything you share can also be protected by the blockchain technology, and everyone can be able to see how you've been able to grow your content. So the other lecturers in your particular space can call out your laziness or whatever it is you're doing. And even the kind of assessment you're going to give and all that, most of that information will be public domain. So again, it is peers checking out peers to see, are you doing the right thing? Yeah, so that you don't give free grades to everyone. That is one. Second, collaboration. My own content to teach calculus, for example, collaborations will be very easy, and we can create this content together. Now, the good thing is, even in group work, or even in a combined projects, like now let's say we are creating a curriculum document. Yeah, so with blockchain technology, especially with the EOR contracts, it means that every contribution is marked. So we can see that this particular document, yes, in as much as we had 5 players, only two contributed maybe 80% of that particular content, and it will have even signatures and everything. It will follow each and every step that has been involved in creating that particular document. So with collaboration, even when we are looking at the way, like now, let's say we do a paper with Dr. Mary Ocheng or Linda, and so when we come to the research office to be given credits, you can be able now to really give accurate credits given the percentage of contribution to writing of that particular paper. So as we said that we can play around with the privacy of the system and who accesses what information, and with the URL, like when you're looking at now the collaboration contracts for academics, it will be public in what kind of content do I create, what kind of notes do I make for my students, and so forth. Now, the thing is, this particular kind of teaching already takes place here in US. Like now, the other day I realized that we are planning for the winter semester, and so the lecturers who are teaching particular subjects, we put out the names and so forth, and then their students decide who they are going to be taught by. And if you like watching series, there is a series called The Chairman, and The Chairman is very reflective of what happens here in the US. And what happens in that particular series, it's a department of English, of teachers of English, or lecturers and professors of English. And we see that there's this lecturer who pushes on, like when she's teaching English as a language, and she even pushes hashtags, like when you read a particular book, you put a hashtag so that you attract more people to read about that particular person. And as I was watching it, I kept thinking about our humanities department, how we have very, very nice units, philosophy, critical thinking, and so forth. How great books, yeah. How wonderful would it be if our students would be able to push hashtags on Twitter, for example, and more and more people would read about the books we teach about, and so forth. So in The Chairman, we see that the professors who stuck in the old ways of teaching, students don't sign up for their classes. And then we see those teachers who are more innovative in the way they teach, they are more like they're able to bring the world into the classroom and take the students out into the world and be able to prepare them adequately. They get full classes. And with that, again, if we connect the number of students you're teaching to your pay, then we find that now you are really, really forced to reinvent yourself as an academic. And this is the excitement I wanted to share with you, that the world is changing and students will be literally shopping for the lecturers and for research supervisors and so forth. And it is a high time we decided that in as much as blockchain technology hasn't taken root or hasn't come to Kenya per se in the academic sector, that is where the future is going. And therefore we have to really think how we teach. So I'm going to share the document with Ian and the Center for Enrichment, and therefore they'll be able to share with you, because I've even put online resources for academics, how you can learn more about blockchain and so forth. So I really hope you're going to find that content useful. The second thing I'm about to finish. The second part is that Professor Wayne and I are working on a book, and we want to work about blockchain technology now in different sectors. So what I've just given you is a teaser of blockchain technology in education sector. And so we are going to look at blockchain technology in agriculture, in transport, and so forth. So how do we digitize our records in different sectors? And so if you really if you think there's something that would excite you, we are really willing to welcome you into a small group of Reshaping the Future. Thank you, guys, and I really hope you're excited.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Mudoni. We were thinking that artificial intelligence was, exciting, but little did we know, here comes blockchain. Wow. Interesting. So we need to reinvent ourselves. So the education sector, clearly, from what we are learning from you, Dr. Lucy, is going to change, no doubt. And simply, it's not just the education sector. Blockchain technology is about to change everything in society, the way we transact, the way we handle all our lives, social, business, school. Some of the things I'm taking away is micro credentials are just about to come on big in our work life, and we can't avoid this. And this is possibly why you even said something very scary that we are about us to see a situation where students will be shopping for us at the micro credential level. We are the education sector is entering into supermarket shelves. So we have to make sure that we are the very best at the unit level. What we do every day, we have to do it somehow. And then blockchain will enable us, it will hashtag us, it will put us out there. We have to be players in the link in blockchain. I think that is what you're telling us. It's amazing. I think this is very exciting, and it's a challenge to all of us to find out what we need to do. Apart from that, you've talked about the fact of the security of data, how it will be enabled, how our academic records and the academic managed system needs to change in light of this new technology, avoiding fraud. And then we are going to have university collaborations much more easily, again enabled by blockchain. Wonderful. So much to learn, all of it packed in 25 minutes flat. I'm very grateful to you, Dr. Modoni. Please, we wish you the best in your work in America. Keep sharing with us every single thing you learn over there. Please transfer it to us in the third world. We need you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great Monday and a great week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Ian, can I ask Lucy a question as we exit?
Oh, yes, please, go ahead.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
I heard you mentioning something about how this will help. I'm not sure because I lost connectivity to determine pay the reward lecturers get based on the lecturer vis-a-vis the number of students. You mentioned something like that. At that moment, I lost connectivity. What were you trying to say? Because that is an HR aspect.
Yes, and now the thing is, a blockchain, the technology around it will also affect other spheres, and where we are going to have smart contracts instead of like what we right now, what we have in Kenya and many other African countries is what we call general HR contract.
Mm.
Like, so what will happen is that if you're paid to teach, then you have to ensure that the university or the institution you're teaching is making enough to meet its administrative costs and at the same time to teach you, to pay you. And so when it comes to that, then what value do you bring in as a lecturer? What are you able to meet what you're expected to do? So we find that like subjects like mathematics, for example, where we do not have many students, will suffer. And many even times right now, we try to justify where we need to have some programs in the universities. But again, when we look at the whole sphere of it, like now even here in the States, some departments are looked at as necessity departments. Like we cannot have an engineering university without a maths department.
Sure.
So this university has to seek a way to fund the maths professors, even if they have few students. So there is so much we can do around it. And that's why I was thinking this is a conversation starter. We will definitely have more conversations around what the future looks like.
Roughly, it makes sense, but we can explore further because there's a whole lot of discussion behind that because you're introducing this concept of blockchain. We can discuss further and see how we can implement it in those reward related areas. Thank you very much.
Yeah, because what I feel is that many people fear that they might not make as much as they are making right now. but you'll be shocked at how much you can make if you're selling new skills at the right fare.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful. We'll see what follows. I look forward to the material, please, that you will send us. This is amazing. I know there's some apps somewhere where I can learn a bit more about the blockchain, and I'm going to do that actually. I'm very motivated to find out more now.
Yeah, and I've also sent you links to some resources you can look at online, around 5 of them. And then...
Thank you. Wonderful. Amazing. About how long do you think it would take for a person like me, who is not bright, to learn enough to start applying blockchain technology?
Now, the good thing is that you do not need to learn any IT or technology and so forth, because there are some people, rather it's the way you work in our AMS system.
Yes.
But you have a BC person or a BC department, blockchain department, who will now be tasked with the algorithms and its running and so forth. It's just like having an IT department, but which is more furtherly trained. It's further trained to encompass the algorithms and the BC.
I see. So it's a bit like the way we are learning quite fast how to use AI without really having to learn machine learning and all the technology behind, right?
Exactly. And like now, I see you teach Japanese. The question is, how creative can you be in teaching it? How exciting can you make it? It is about you. How better can you be? When it starts, it will you yourself, and this is the value I bring to the classroom.
Wonderful. I see that, educators and lecturers could also somehow earn money by putting out the best of themselves within what I do. There could be one or two things that I really do well. I don't do everything very well, but perhaps there's one or two things that if I could put out there, it could earn me a bit of money, perhaps.
Yes. And I'm saying yes, because I have seen that when, as a teacher or as a trainer, there is a lot of hunger for information, for knowledge. And the thing probably in Kenya, we think we are like, you look at yourself and like, nah, I'm not so good enough. But when you come to such a country, you realize you are so skilled, and what you know, many people want it, and if you price it correctly, then that's why many Kenyans make it out there.
Okay. Wonderful. All right then. I wish you the best. Now I and my colleagues will simply go away now and reinvent ourselves. Thank you. Have a great day.